All right, let's talk about what makes an anime a massive hit right now. I mean, with a sea of new shows and returning favorites, what's the secret sauce? What separates a pretty good anime from a global phenomenon that everyone is talking about? Well, we're going to break it down.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. A time-traveling squid, a figure skater, and an apothecary? Sounds like the start of a really weird joke, right? But honestly, the answer to this question, it basically reveals the powerful formula for success in anime today. Stick with me, because once you see the connection, you won't be able to unsee it.
So first up, let's dive into the new hits on the block. We're talking about these fresh stories that have just burst onto the scene and are already making a huge impact. These aren't just random shows, they're the ones starting all the conversations.
And right off the bat, you can kind of see a trend emerging, can't you? These darker, more psychologically complex stories are really hitting a nerve. Take Takopi's Original Sin. It's this compact but incredibly powerful sci-fi drama that is just an absolute gut punch. It is not afraid to get into some really heavy themes. And then on the other side, you've got The Summer Hikari Died, which is this super creepy, slow-burn psychological horror that just gets under your skin and stays there.
This also shows there's a huge appetite for these really immersive fantasy worlds. Lord of Mysteries, for example, is getting so much praise for its incredible atmosphere, mixing that supernatural suspense with a really rich fantasy setting. And then, for anyone who just wants pure action, there's Gachakuta. It's this raw, high-stakes, dark fantasy that has built a super dedicated fanbase, like instantly.
But hey, it's not all dark and intense. Far from it. We're also seeing huge success with stories that are all about human spirit and just being clever. Medalist is the perfect example. It's this incredibly inspiring underdog story about figure skating that has just won over so many hearts. And then you have The Apothecary Diaries, which has completely captivated everyone with its unique blend of imperial court intrigue and super smart mystery solving.
Okay, so that's the new stuff, but that's only half the story. A massive part of what's going on right now is the return of the Titans. We're talking about those familiar worlds and beloved characters who aren't just coming back, they're coming back bigger than ever.
And you can't even have this conversation without talking about Demon Slayer. The latest movie is so much more than just another chapter in the story. It's a full-on cinematic event. The animation is absolutely spectacular, pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible. But at its heart, it's still got that powerful emotional core of family and sacrifice that made us all fall in love with it in the first place.
And this really shows you the incredible power of long-term audience investment. I mean, think about it. When fans have followed a story like My Hero Academia for a decade, the final season becomes this huge must-see event. It's the culmination of everything. The same goes for Dr. Stone as it wraps up its grand adventure. These finales are more than just episodes. They're genuine cultural moments.
So we've got these explosive new shows on one hand, and these massive returning hits on the other. And yeah, on the surface they seem totally different. But what if there's a common thread running through all of them? What if there's a secret to success that connects them all?
Well, it turns out there absolutely is a pattern. Whether it's a brand new story that's just getting started or the epic conclusion to a series we've loved for years, the most successful anime right now are all basically drawing from the same playbook. And it really comes down to 3 key ingredients.
So, here it is, the formula in a nutshell. First, you've got genre mixing, blending familiar ideas to create something that feels totally fresh. Second, visual spectacle, delivering animation that is just next level. And third, epic finales, giving fans that satisfying conclusion that really pays off their long-term investment. Let's break each of these down a little more. Okay, so trend number 1, genre mixing. This is all about taking the traditional rulebook and just throwing it out. Viewers are clearly responding to stories that defy easy labels. When you combine the intense sci-fi of Takopi's Original Sin with its deep emotional drama, or the historical mystery in Lord of Mysteries with its supernatural fantasy, you get something that feels completely new and unpredictable, and that is incredibly engaging.
The second trend is visual spectacle. And let's be real, this is non-negotiable now. The bar for animation quality has been set incredibly high by shows like Demon Slayer. Audiences now expect a cinematic experience. But it's not just about flashy action sequences. In a series like Gachiakata, the unique art style is absolutely crucial for creating that dark, gritty, atmospheric world. In today's landscape, top-tier production value isn't a bonus, it's a necessity.
And that brings us to our third trend, which might just be the most powerful one of all, the art of the epic finale. You can never, ever underestimate the power of nostalgia and emotional investment. When a beloved series like My Hero Academia or Dr. Stone returns for its final act, it's tapping into years of fan dedication. It turns the season into a massive cultural event that dominates the conversation online. And that's why it matters so much. It's about delivering a payoff that honors the journey we've all been on.
So there you have it. That's the playbook right now. Genre-bending creativity, absolutely breathtaking visuals, and emotionally satisfying finales. But we all know how anime works. Today's winning formula is tomorrow's old news, which leads to the real question, right? What comes next? What are the next generation of creators going to do to completely change the game and surprise us all over again?